Welcome to Dig Deep, the mining podcast. In this podcast, we go deep into mining news, hot topics, and live interviews with mining professionals and leading figures in the mining industry. Introducing your host, Rob Tyson, founder and director of Mining International and Mining International Executive, a leading global mining recruitment and headhunting agency.
Hi, mining community. Welcome back to another episode of the Dig Deep, the mining podcast, the show that brings you the latest insights, thought leaderships, and stories from across the global mining industry. Today's guest is Aymone Schendel, who I'm sure most of you would know. Listens to this podcast. She is a connector, a community builder, and one of those influential voices shaping the future of mining networks in the UK and beyond. She's the founder of the Oxford Mining Club, a global network designed to connect students, professionals, and leaders around thoughtful discussion, innovation, and responsible development in the sector. She also plays a key role in the Women in Mining UK, an organisation dedicated to advancing gender diversity, visibility, and leadership across our industry. And also she's behind MinSouth, a fast-growing initiative focused on connecting mining professionals and investors with opportunities across the global industry. What sets her apart is ability to bring people together across disciplines, generations, and geographics to create spaces where ideas, opportunities, and leadership can thrive. She's focused her career on building platforms that strengthen collaboration and inclusivity in the mining industry. And today we're going to explore what inspired her to build these communities and what the impacts they've had within people in our industry. Also, what achievements she's most proud of, and the lessons that she's learnt, obviously, along the way, including any advice that she would give the younger herself starting out in the industry again. So, no further ado, let's welcome them onto the podcast. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much, Rob, for the invitation to join today. I'm absolutely delighted to be here.
No worries. Well, obviously, we've met many times in the past at various conferences. And as I mentioned in the introduction, a lot of the people that will be listening to this podcast will know you. So, but those that may not know you, I just wanted you to just give us a little bit of an introduction about yourself, a little bit about your career, your background, your path into the mining industry. And obviously, as I mentioned, you're building networks and creating communities. So I just wonder if you can just cover those. And maybe also, which I know this question a lot of people do like, maybe something that our audience may not know about yourself. So I'll hand it over to you to introduce yourself.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, yes. So my name is Aymone Schendel. I'm an expat living here in the United Kingdom in London. I'm actually a Canadian, but of German origin. So I speak several languages. And I moved here to the UK over 20 years ago. And my background was actually in medical instrumentation, animal science. And I joined the extractive industry when I couldn't find a job in my own industry when I first moved here. So thankfully, I landed a job at a hedge fund, which gave me an opportunity to move over to work for a small Canadian oil exploration company, which was then the perfect path leading into mining. And I've been hooked ever since. So I'm proof that anyone can work in the industry, even if you do not have a technical background. Don't let anyone tell you you can't work in mining. And I think that's really super important today when we know what's going on in the world. So yes, and that's where my passion for building impactful networks and creating communities and partnerships came from. I had to adapt very quickly to different organizations and different industries. And that laid the perfect foundation of bringing people together of diverse thought, but shared goals. So I wear different hats. Yes, as you mentioned, the Oxford Mining Club. Now, I will say, full disclosure, I did not found the Oxford Mining Club. I was brought in 2018 to bring and help develop the growth of the Oxford Mining Club. I'm a volunteer at Women in Mining UK, a phenomenal organization here in the United Kingdom. The Natural Resources Forum is another hat that I wear, an investor forum, and MinSouth. Very much technical based, but an incredible association as part of IOM3. But at the heart of all of this sits networking, creating communities, building partnerships. Fun fact, I love horses. So I'm horse mad. I train and ride horses. I have all my life. And since I moved here to the UK, I used to be a civilian support rider for the Household Cavalry. So if you're in London and you're taking a jog early in the morning, you may have seen those ladies on those beautiful cab blacks riding at 6 a.m. in the morning. I am my most happiest when I wake up at 4:45 in the morning. I go to the stables, I tack up the horses, and I'm out watching the sunrise. That's my little fun fact for you.
Right. If we didn't know that, I bet a lot of our audience wouldn't have known that either. So yeah, take note. Um, so I want to speak to you about the Oxford Mining Club. And again, a lot of our audience will probably would know you're part of obviously that organisation. Apologies about not being you weren't the co-founder, but obviously you're an integral part of the Oxford Mining Club. How would you describe the mission and purpose of the Oxford Mining Club?
Well, it's primarily so that let me just give you sort of a little background. But the Oxford Mining Club was founded by three gentlemen back in 2010, and it was, a curry dinner. It started off as a curry dinner, bringing people together, and it was founded for the benefit of those who have interest in mining, investment in mining, but good company, good food, and good company. And our membership now comprises a unique blend of senior mining executives, fund managers, industry specialists, both on the technical side and on the corporate side, students and academia. And I'm especially proud of the fact that we now have more students and more academia taking part in these events that we host. And there is an ample opportunity to meet everyone from the industry and to meet someone new. And we should ensure that everyone feels welcome on arrival and that everyone leaves having had conversations of interest. And when I say that, it just takes one conversation to be of interest to have made that evening, that lunch, that dinner worthwhile. So we host dinners, we host a lunch every year in Oxford, actually, at the beautiful boathouse alongside the river, which is, England in the summer is always absolutely stunning. And then, of course, our annual signature winter drinks reception, which is hosted during Resourcing Tomorrow, obviously rebranded from Minds and Money, but now in its, it's growing from strength to strength and is now part of this London Mining Week calendar, an exceptional week when the global mining community comes to London. And we kick off, Monday, just before the conference starts, we kick off with this beautiful winter drinks reception at the Waldorf Hotel.
Yeah, and obviously I go to some of the Oxford Mining Club events, and it's definitely highly recommended. So anyone
Thank you.
listening, if you're in the UK, and again, I suppose you don't have to be in the UK, but if you're visiting the UK at the times of these events, then obviously reach out, look at the website, and certainly attend whilst you're in town. So yeah, it's highly recommended. Um, and for those that obviously, again, who may not be familiar with some of your work, how how would you describe the mission and purpose of the Women in Mining UK? And obviously, there's lots of women in mining organisations around the world, but wondered if you can just tell us a little bit about Women in Mining UK.
Yeah, so Women in Mining UK, again, a phenomenal not-for-profit volunteer organization. And this one was founded in 2006, and it's based here in the UK. Of course, there are women in mining groups all around the globe. There's an incredible strength in collaboration because we all talk to each other. But Women in Mining UK, WIM UK as we're known, is dedicated to promoting the attraction and the visibility and the career progression of women in that global mining industry through leadership, thought leadership, collaboration, partnerships. And we strive to make the industry as rewarding and fulfilling place to start and grow a career. And, especially now, it's incredibly important to be creating safe spaces for women to come together, women to come together with other women, but women to come together with our male champions to share, to partner with, to collaborate with. And this, we have different avenues where we can pull all of these, and all of our initiatives together.
And obviously, you've been with the organisation for a while. How many members have you got altogether?
I think the last
roughly?
count was we have a huge following on LinkedIn, so please do look us up on LinkedIn, especially now because I should say we've just launched the 7th edition nomination process for the 7th edition of the WIM 100. So we've got nearly 25,000 followers. But I think if you were to look at our membership, we're a global organization in the sense that we have members from all around the world that tap into our network or attend our events or come to the UK when we have a conference here. So that's probably over 3,000 members who subscribe to our newsletters and our event teasers. And get in touch with us.
Yeah. And I also mentioned obviously MinSouth. I don't know too much about MinSouth, but I wonder if you can just tell us a little bit about the organisation.
Yes, and I'm hoping that perhaps once our audience has a chance to listen to this podcast, they'll go look up MinSouth, because not too many people know about MinSouth. But the mission of MinSouth is really to be a focus for mining and minerals related professionals based here in London and the southeast of England, to influence the wider public and most importantly, to support IOM3 in its objectives, as well as supporting the educational system for the development of the next generation of mining professionals. I mean, we have over 800 plus members who belong to this thriving mining community centered here in London. And, they're all technical consultants, they're suppliers of equipment and support services, they're financial advisors, head of office staff for major international mining companies, junior companies. And there's this wonderful association that is part of IOM3 that hosts events. We host a student competition, and we would really appreciate and love if more people would join us, attend some of our events, because we have an incredible network that are just open and willing to network and collaborate with and partner with.
Obviously, you've brought so many people together, obviously building these networks and communities. But I suppose I want to flip it to you. And what are some of the proudest achievements that you've actually achieved in bringing all these people together?
I think, I'll just say, the mining industry is huge, but the network is actually really small because we all know each other. And so one of my proudest achievements has been to see the growth from all of these organizations. So if I'm looking at WIM UK, we're volunteer led. We all have day jobs. And this continued development of our initiatives with the support of our partners and our community in the mining industry has seen our events and conference calendar grow. It's seen our global audience grow. It's seen, the fact that we have more diversity of thought and knowledge and expertise to tap into to support all of these initiatives, such as scholarships, internships, the journey to the boardroom, panel discussions, in person, online. Obviously, during COVID, we had to take everything online. You know how that went, Rob. I mean, it was a challenge, but we got through it. And then, of course, for WIM UK, it's the Global Inspirational Women in Mining publication. And if you were on LinkedIn last Friday, we had, a huge announcement we put out about the WIM 100 and the 2026 edition that's coming out in November. Nominations are now open. So please do check out the website. You may know an inspirational woman in mining who's a trailblazer, who's a champion, who empowers and lifts others up. So you may want to recognize her and send your nomination in. And as far as the Oxford Mining Club is concerned, that same concept of building visibility, creating networks, building partnerships. I'm super proud how we have developed over the last couple of years this exceptional networking community. It's our dinners have grown, our lunches have grown, our drinks reception is flourishing, especially alongside Resourcing Tomorrow and the London Mining Week, which is becoming a critical point in our sort of global mining calendar. We're seeing more attendees come, and most importantly, it's thoughtful content. Time is precious. People have to have a reason to come out. So let's make sure that we have thoughtful content, impactful speakers. We build strategic partnerships, and we create spaces for our members to connect, to learn, and to be inspired at. And bringing the right people in the room matters. And that's for any of the organizations that I support and work with. Our time is precious, as I said. So make sure the people that we do attend and, our members who want to attend and want to connect with get the best experience possible. Understanding the dynamics of our guests and our partners and sharing visions of collaboration is part of creating that safe space. And we know that networking can feel very overwhelming for the younger generation, and not just the younger generation. A lot of people find networking intimidating and don't appreciate or understand how they can make it work for them. And so, you know, let's make it as impactful as possible, because at the end of the day, we don't have much left in our social batteries. Let's make it safe and inclusive.
Yeah. Obviously, you've done a lot in your career. But what advice would you give your younger self starting out in this obviously this career?
So one of the things that I always, share when I get asked this question, especially by the younger generation, is I say to them, if the opportunity is presented to you to work in the mining industry, don't dismiss it. It was presented to me when I was 19 on my way to university, and I dismissed it. And I said, I don't ever want to work in the extractive industries. I don't understand it. I don't have a technical background. But now I wish I had. I was just ill-informed, and I didn't have the teachers. I didn't have academia supporting me. And now I know what an incredible industry, a career path the industry is. And I wish I'd just jumped on the bandwagon sooner, but that was my path. It doesn't have to be everybody else's journey. So get all the facts, get out there, network, talk to people in multiple roles to gauge what interests they have, what may interest you, and keep informed of industry trends. And don't be afraid to reach out to people. I mean, that's the wonderful thing about the mining industry is we are not afraid to answer an email, to pick up a LinkedIn message and respond. Go out, show up, be present. So that means attend a conference, attend an event. And a few months ago, actually, at a conference, I was asked, well, what did you mean by show up and be present? Well, it's pretty much that, what it says on the tin. Stay informed, be committed, ask questions, knock on that door and ask to be let in.
And as I've mentioned, your whole career has been obviously building network and communities. And as you just mentioned, networking, which obviously the event, the companies that you're involved in is basically networking. And I'm wondering what tips you can probably share within people that, and again, different people listening to this podcast will have different experiences in networking. Some like it, some may not. Might be people listening that have never done any networking before. So I just wondered if there was any tips that you could probably give about networking that will give a big impact on and for the reason for actually networking.
Yeah, and it's right there, right? It's networking with impact, Rob. So networking with impact requires focusing on quality connections, not quantity, quality. And it goes both ways when attending an event and when we are bringing groups of industry professionals together. Create spaces of value. It's your time, it's their time. It's precious. And practice active listening. What does your community need? What does your network need? What do they want? And what are they looking for? And who do they want to connect with? Don't push an agenda. Listen. And then approach and full preparation. Research your attendees, research your partners, and have a clear, concise plan to build and to help build those lasting professional relationships. And, they really are lasting relationships. You may end up forming a relationship with someone that you work with. You take it out of your workspace. You may find you have a common interest. That face-to-face value of sitting down, sharing a cup of coffee, going for lunch or for dinner is absolutely valuable. So don't be afraid to research, ask questions, have a concise plan.
And on that note, it's a great conclusion. Aymone, really appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing your story Also, obviously, telling us a little bit about the Oxford Mining Club, Women in Mining, and MinSouth. We're going to include those links in the show notes for easy access. This episode is going to go out right before Indaba, which I know you're going to be attending as well. Is there any other events that you're attending throughout the year, apart from obviously the ones that we've just mentioned?
Well, obviously, the Oxford Mining Club calendar is out. We have our spring dinner coming up in May, our summer lunch in June. September, we always host an autumn dinner. And then during Resourcing Tomorrow, we host our Oxford Mining Club Winter Drinks. WIM UK, we host monthly events, sometimes 2 a month. They're either in person or they're online. So if you're a student, just be aware we have a careers day coming up in March. So look up on our calendar, it's there. Yes. So I'll see you next week, Robin, and in Indaba. And again, lots of events, side events that we will be attending will be at Indaba. So hey, feel free to reach out if you'd like to partner with us on any of these initiatives or any of these organizations. Send me a LinkedIn message. I am on LinkedIn every day. I have this rule. I've got to put out a post every day. I love sharing what we're doing. I love giving visibility to all the incredible women and men that I get to work with. So you can always find me on LinkedIn. Please don't be shy. Send me a message and I hope to respond as quickly as I can. But yes, throughout the year, lots of things going on. And the same goes for MinSouth. We have monthly events. Check out our website. Come join us in person or online. That's the beauty of these days. A lot of things are online. So even if you're not in the UK, you can still join, you can still form a connection, build a network online.
Yeah, all those details will be in the show notes, so our audience can easily reach out. There's no excuses. Let's get everyone networking, and I suppose feel more confident in networking. If you maybe a little bit more shy, that's obviously trying to encourage everyone. And I suppose from my own point of view, if you're out networking and you do see someone that's probably standing there on their own, we've probably all been there and done that. Please just go up and reach out to them. Go up, introduce yourself. We've all been there, one stage or another. So if you are a little bit nervous, please don't. But go to these events. We all had to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And going to these networking events, as you go to more and more, you'll certainly become more comfortable in approaching people. You never know what may come of these networking events. Like you said, relationships, business opportunities, career opportunities. There's so much more. So encourage you to obviously reach out to Aymone, and obviously look at these networking events and try and make sure that you at least attend to one of them this year. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
So,
I'll be there. So just say hello. And it's a really good point, Rob. If you see someone in a room that looks like they may be uncomfortable, just go up to them and say, "Hey, I'm so and so," and just start a conversation, because they're probably trying to figure out how they can join in.
Yeah, exactly. And that there's great words to end on. So thank you for your time. Maybe you can come on later this year or next year, give us an update on certain things. You'll probably be involved in another community.
Wear too many hats. But looking forward to it, Rob.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed the episode. As always, appreciate your continued support. This episode needs to be shared amongst everyone that you know. Networking is something that any industry does. Everyone that wants to advance their careers, gain more knowledge, insights, they get that through networking. And as we've shown, there's certain organizations out there, there's many more out there, but there's obviously certain organizations Aymone's involved with, and I've obviously experienced some of those events, and they're great networking places. You learn so much, meet so many different people. So appreciate you listening. Please share this episode, and as I mentioned, make sure you attend one networking event at least this year, if not many more. So thank you again. Appreciate your time. And until next time, happy mining.
Thank you for listening. Remember to reach out to Rob via the show notes, and be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, happy mining, helping each other to improve the mining industry.